Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my Ferrari Road to Glory series on F1 23. This is round 8 for the Spanish Grand Prix. If you haven't seen round 7, Monaco, the last race guys, go check it out, link in the top right. Before we jump into spoilers in today's episode. Now then guys, starting off with the car, we revert back to the traditional red and yellow livery for the foreseeable future. As you can see, we have a bit of engine wear on some components and a short turnaround until the next race. So we're going to start off with some reliability work, as this is currently what is taking up the bulk of the discounts. So we're going to go ahead and do an MGUK upgrade. We can't afford the gearbox. We also are going to do some fuel efficiency to make the car a bit more fuel efficient so we can start the race lighter on fuel and be more quick over the course of a whole Grand Prix. And we're going to go ahead and also switch out the used or very old engine parts on the MGUH and also the turbocharger. So with that, we arrive at Spain, a track which I quite enjoy, especially since they removed the chicane, and we're looking to try and go back to back. The last race at Monaco was a really good race win, a really good performance. The car was excellent to drive. No rain forecast. You can see we have a couple of upgrades, one for the engine power this weekend, so it's going to help us out a little bit, along with a general maintenance or general wear upgrade. But if we look at the results and also the performance chart, you can see we've had either first place, second, or we've finished last with reliability issues. Either way, we improve and we've closed the gap to Red Bull even more. But McLaren, Mercedes, Haas, everyone, Aston Martin are all bringing upgrades. Even at the bottom, AlphaTauri, Williams, Alfa Romeo, everyone bringing an improved package here this weekend. Now, we're going to talk about the helmet. You guys know I had a new helmet planned for Monaco. I got it slightly wrong in terms of the selection process, but this time we have it correct. And here we go. The new lid is here. Full of Ferrari sponsors, as you guys wanted in the comments. And yeah, I think it looks really bloody awesome and a very nice clean helmet. Link down below to the template I used for it. I made a few changes of my own and a few adjustments, but there she is in action as we jump into Friday practice. Now then, we start off with floor damage as I bumped over the yellow sausage curb, which to be fair was only minor damage and didn't really affect the balance too much, so we was able to execute the practice programs without any dramas and fairly straightforward fashion. As you can see, floor damage repairs taking place as we look at the tyre wear and fuel consumption, which both are a little bit higher than what we usually have. Practice pace though looking very good. Leclerc quickest by quite a margin. We finished in the top 6 and we rack up a good chunk of R&D points once again, rocking the red and yellow race suits once more, which I do prefer, to be fair. I think these are my favourite suits of the entire series so far, and I'm happy to run these. As you can see, lots of discounts on actual productive upgrades for the engine, for the ERS, for the chassis, which is going to really help us out. But alas, we can now jump into qualifying and actually get down to business and do some improvements, see where the pace is, and hopefully look for pole once again after getting an incredible pole last time out in Monaco by over a second. So here we go. Car ready to go, tyres, or invisible tyres more like, ready to go into the car, and we're going to send it as we get on track for our first Q1 run, or first qualifying run period, as it is a short qualifying. Bit of an oversteer and already a bit of a callback to practice there through the chicane, losing the back end, getting very loose. We then encounter some traffic, but Hulkenberg gets out the way nicely, and we now make our way through the final couple of corners, closing out the lap almost flat there through the final corner. Slight lift, but I reckon that could be flat with the right line. And we go quickest with a 1:10.4 to start off our qualifying session. You can see Leclerc actually one-upped me by 0.017, having a very strong first sector, whereas that is kind of my Achilles heel. We're quite strong in sectors 2 and 3. So with a minute to go, we're going to go for our second and final run. We're going to hopefully try to clean up those mistakes and find some time, especially in the first sector. So here we go. ERS open as we race down to the first chicane. We want to try and brake at the little tarmac strip on the green side, just before the 50, fourth gear, and then I just cut turn 2 a little
1 minute to go.
Too much there, which we bottomed out and then understeered 1 into the green stuff. So we've actually lost a bit of time in sector 1, even more than what we lost previously. So we're 2/10 down right now on Leclerc in the first sector. Turn 4 pretty decent, turn 5 a little bit deep, but it's a corner where you can actually get away with it if you get a good exit, and that's exactly what we did. Through the chicane 6 and 7, a bit too much inside curb, so we just lose a couple of hundredths as we keep the throttle
30 seconds left in the session.
fully pinned in 7th gear through turn 9. On the anchors into 10, 4th gear, we find a chunk of time on the brakes there, and we're now up on our previous time, making our way through turn 12, just trying to avoid the brake marker board as we then throw it downhill. And now into the final corner, we're going to keep the throttle absolutely flat out. If you watch it back, fully pinned, and we find a 10th, and we're going to improve to provisional pole of 1 minute 10.333. Checkered flag drops. Is it enough? No. Leclerc, yet again, snags it at the death on the last run. 110.244, less than a tenth of a second, but Leclerc back on pole after the last race in Monaco. What a performance. Very close qualifying. Ultimately, our time loss was in sector 1. We just, we should have gone quicker, and we ended up going slower, which I'd say cost us about a tenth, maybe even a tenth and a half. Other than that, a pretty decent lap. Minimal errors, very nice final sector, absolutely hooked up perfectly. And the big standout is Mercedes. They've taken a step forward. McLaren seem to have taken a step back. They're down to 7th and 8th on the 4th row, and Russell and Hamilton moving forward. So good to see. Hamilton though with a 5th-place grid job, as Kevin Magnussen also has. But either way, guys, qualifying done. A 1-2 yet again, another front row lockout. Let's get into the race and let's try and secure the W.
Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and the popular opinion in the paddock is that we never wanted the chicane in the first place. That's now been gone, the final corner is much faster, and at 2.9 miles and 14 turns, we await the Spanish Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Martinez completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Hamilton, Gasly, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Magnussen, Bottas, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Here we go then. Time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Front row start, Leclerc on pole, front row lockout. We're going to try and convert this into another 1-2 finish, but hopefully in reverse order. We need to win and close the gap. I believe Leclerc's 15 points ahead in the championship, so if we can win that, that will help close the gap even more. If we look at the strategy, we have two options available, a soft hard and a medium hard. Based off my experience, a soft is just not a great race tyre, so we're going to stick with the more conservative medium hard choice. It'll be better in the second half of the stint and give us just a bit of an easier race overall. If we look at the fuel load, I am running about 0.4 of a lap extra. That should be fine. No rain forecast, nice sunny skies. Race is perfect for these conditions. Hopefully, we've also got the setup spot on. But yeah, key thing is going to be the race start. It's a long run down to turn 1, so our race starts are a bit hit and miss. So far, they've not been too bad, but in league racing, they're not so great. So we're going to try and get that sorted out. Either way, formation lap key, tyre temp key. Let's send it and let's try and get the win. Seems like everyone is on soft tyres, so we're going to be at a bit of a disadvantage in the first few laps, first 5 or 6 laps or so. Once we get the tyres warmed up, it should be okay. The medium's a pretty good race tyre here, but we're just going to have to weather the storm in the first lap. Here we go. Let's get to it. Round 8 of 23. Away we go. Oh wow, great start. Leclerc with a poor getaway off the soft tyre. I think we're quite high on wings, so we're going to lose out in the straight line speed battle. So Leclerc back through before turn 1, so that gives you a bit of a sign of what our wing levels are like, but that could be a good thing for this initial phase, as we should be okay in the corners on this tyre because we have more wing. I was quicker in sectors 2 and 3, so pretty much from now until the end of the lap we are the quicker car, so that should give us a bit of respite. Just got to try and hold on the pit straight. So good start, we'll take it. Didn't lose out, we've still kept the 1-2 going. Careful there over the sausage curb, we don't want to get floor damage again like in practice. Already flat through turn 9 in 6th gear, which says a lot. Leclerc trying to break away. I'm just saving my battery for the main straight, which is where I'm mostly concerned. A snap there as we try to make this tyre work. Like I said, the AI are going to have the advantage in the first few laps, probably until DRS gets enabled, so just got to try and weather the storm. Now we'll use some battery here, we'll drain a good chunk of it just to stay competitive in the speed trap. And there we go, actually catching Leclerc a little bit here at the end of the straight, keeping the battery on. So let's make sure we're within DRS range of our teammate by the end of lap 3 onto lap 4, which is when we're going to get DRS for the first time. Right, job done. Good bit of battery use. I think we're going to be okay from this point on if we make no mistakes. Just got to try and creep within a second before the back straight to get DRS on Leclerc if possible, so we'll use some more battery, but purple second lap, which is earlier than I expected, so we're making these tyres work, but Leclerc still trying to stretch us. Very strong through there. It's going to be close though if we get DRS or not. Great chicane, really good chicane. And now we have DRS.
And some information on Leclerc. They've got an issue with their car, they're going to be slow.
Well, well, well. First bit of unreliability, or reliability issues for our teammate. We've had our fair share, but now Leclerc is the one who's in trouble here, so we'll just brake a bit early here and keep a bit of a distance. Leclerc clearly will be off pace and slow. We're on the borderline here as Verstappen is outside my DRS range. He's overtaken Russell. Perez also up to 5th, so the Red Bull's pretty quick in race trim. Leclerc now visibly struggling. Just having to wait here to get a clear shot to pass him. Not the easiest track to pass. I think down to turn 10 could be the opportunity. Oh, Leclerc very slow there. Had to get right out of it, almost lost the back end. Here we go. Up the hill. Down towards turn 10. Up the inside. Bit deep, but we keep it under control. Good little fake. And we take P1 in the Spanish Grand Prix. Now we're going to see how far Leclerc drops before his car gets back to working conditions. To be fair, we're not out of trouble just yet. We might still be under some pressure. Although we do have a decent gap. Verstappen goes through, so Max opportunistic. And actually, they're both going to get a run here. Max is going to go for it up the inside. We're going to go around the outside on Verstappen to defend and hold on to first place. It's not over yet. AI, very good straight line speed. Verstappen to the outside again. Slight contact there on the way through. Vehicle condition.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Just double checking my front wing, but we're okay. And it's now lap 5, so our tyres should be starting to work a bit better. They should be getting pretty close to the first phase over the next lap or so. So let's try and break a gap here. I can't drop Max. He's basically gaining everything back on the straight, but he's not exactly challenging me right now, but we're opening up a gap. He's got Perez out of DRS range. Red Bull looking a lot stronger in race trim. Leclerc has held on to P4, so I figure his car is now working. He's in Perez's DRS. I think Leclerc is back up and running, so it's going to be Ferrari versus Red Bull this race, I think, by the looks of it. We're getting close now to dropping Verstappen out of DRS. Gap is floating around 8 to 9 tenths. One more good lap and we might just have it. Meanwhile, Leclerc is going to get back through to 3rd. We'll see what his pace is like. But we need to try and drop Max because we're on the same strategy. So all these guys on softs are going to pit before me and most likely undercut me for position. So we have to try and break DRS and get a gap. So we need to try and break it here. Going to use battery here to try and break Verstappen. Just got a wheel in the grass, which isn't ideal. Tyres are starting to go now. I'm trying to push and it's not working. We're so close to dropping him, but Verstappen's just holding on. So frustrating. We might just have it now. Didn't touch the grass this time. Nice and tidy through the hairpin. Just need a good exit here. A bit of battery, and there we go, we've done it. Now we'll see where Max pits, but we've got to try and open the gap now and push a little bit. Let's use all the battery here. No one's pitting yet. I wonder if they're going to try and go soft medium. That'd be interesting. I mean, they won't get an undercut on us, but they'll have better tyres, which could be really interesting. So we've got to try and now keep this gap going. Leclerc, to be fair, is trying to stretch and catch Verstappen.
Safety car. No overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Double stack for Leclerc, double stack for Perez. So Russell could be in with a shout of P3 here, but we do have a bit more of a gap to Leclerc than what Perez has to Verstappen. Either way, we're going to complete our strategy. The question is, what tyre are the AI going to go for? I assume medium, but I could be wrong. Right, I want to see if I can push it into the pits with this delta. There we go. Right on the limit. Don't speed. Beautiful. Right, try and minimise Leclerc being stacked.
Charles is in the pits.
Come on, boys. Quick stop. Oh, and we get released just before the traffic. Absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. So Leclerc with a bit of a double stack, you'll get a quicker stop of 1.8.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
And we rejoin back in P1, but everyone's on medium except for Leclerc. So myself and Charles, or Charles and myself, are going to be on the same strap. Interestingly, he's actually stayed ahead of Russell, so we did a good job on that pit entry to...
You're approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
We did a good job to not cost Leclerc any time. So 1-3 on hard, so we'll have better tyres at the end. Russell does jump Perez, so that goes to show how key the differences and the margins were. Us not getting held in the pit box for the other cars was the ultimate key moment. Okay, safety car in this lap. Just letting the safety car pull away. We've got great tyre temp. One thing to note, we've got now decent tyre temps, you know, thanks to the safety car phase, so we should be able to push, but it's going to be the same as last stint where we're going to try and have to break Verstappen. I think it's likely he probably overtakes us, to be fair, but that's okay. Right, where we go. Let's get to it. Yeah, well, no, I'm not even going to try. He's going to get us here quite easily using battery. Leclerc coming through. I'm going to see if I can try and let him through, but he didn't really commit to the inside line. So let's stick with Verstappen. If we can get in his DRS and stay there, that will help us weather the storm in the first few laps like we did with Leclerc. And then hopefully the tyres will come back to us. Track feels way quicker, fresh tyres, less fuel load. We're going to be a couple seconds a lap quicker. Well, I've got to say, at the minute, Charles and I are able to keep pretty well with the Verstappen. Hard tyre working well, we've got great temperature, and the tyre is now in fully working range. And I actually think both myself and Charles are quicker than Verstappen at this stage. So the DRS will now be enabled, so we can start to plot and plan how we're going to treat this phase of the race. Yep, there we go. Losing a bit of battery, bit of a slipstream to catch Verstappen. Let's see what we can do. Verstappen just starting to wobble a bit. I think he's entering the first phase. So we're going to try to pass for the final corner. Nicely done there. Here we go. Try not to use all my battery. Verstappen defends the inside. We're going to take it though and clear him before turn 1. Alright, let's see what sort of pace we have and if we can pull away. He might just re-challenge us here, so we're going to use some battery out of turn 3 just to keep a gap. Purple sector 1, let's see if we can try and get the fastest lap as well. We'll use battery on the whole lap. 2 purple sectors. Tyres are working beautifully, this is a really good race tyre so far. Bit more battery here just to clear him, and that can now give Leclerc something to feast on. But there we go, we've done it. We've dropped Verstappen straight away. Those mediums entered the first phase. 12.4, that's a bit more like it. Alright, let's just manage the race now. Leclerc's going to get him. And it's a 1-2 yet again on Ferrari. Both cars on hards, making them work nicely. Verstappen back through on Leclerc. These two are battling away. And they might go side by side here, which may cost them valuable time. I trust Leclerc to get second, but this is going to help us now really pull away. I've been trying to keep them out of DRS without using battery, and we're basically identical pace-wise, similar to the first stint. You can see now we've got a bit of breathing space. Leclerc also stays ahead of Verstappen on that one. Verstappen, Leclerc. Switch again. Russell just waiting in the wings. Bit of a moment there. This time Verstappen does go through, so he's not giving up just yet on those tyres. Leclerc back through again on Verstappen. Or not quite. Now they're battling. Losing a lot of time. This will help us win the race and lock in our advantage. Leclerc through again.
That's just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
And this time through for good. We'll see now if he's got the tyre advantage to try and pull away. If he's still there on the penultimate lap, I might be willing to try and give him DRS on the last lap to help him get a second place. Pierre, Gasly out the race. Leclerc's doing a good job. He's got the pace over Verstappen. He's able to build a gap throughout the lap, and then he's got enough of a cushion to hold on the pit straight. Russell's very slow on the straight. He can't challenge Verstappen at all. So the gap's slowly coming down. Leclerc's quicker than me at this stage if I don't use any battery, but it's working out quite nicely, so I can maybe give him a hand next time around to stay ahead with DRS.
Caution, caution.
And there is the stricken Alpine.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
So we're just going to make sure we give Leclerc some DRS. He's made a small mistake, but there we go, he's within range, which is exactly what I want. We're very good in the final corner, so we open a slight gap. We're just going to use all the battery now just to stay ahead and hold on to P1, and that keeps Leclerc out of trouble, like so. And there we go, another successful DRS straight, which means with hopefully the fastest lap, we are on course for another maximum points weekend. 1-2 finish with the best lap of the race, and we win in Spain. Great drive, and we'll take it 2 in a row.
Thank you. I need a moment. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Quite simply, a driver is nothing without the team behind them. So, a deserved winner, but we do have to give a shout out to the team in the pit lane and back at the factory.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari.
And there we go then, a very smooth, a very effective and efficient race. It was very close. The margins were super close. Honestly, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull all similarly matched. Lando, Perez were with us on the restart, but they had a bit of a scrap and lost a couple of seconds. And then obviously once you lose DRS, it's very hard to catch back up around here. But definitely a close one. Very, very, very well fought, even in qualifying. And yeah, job done for us. Another 1-2, nicely managed. The strategy was on point. Possibly we have more tyre wear, hence why we went for more conservative, harder compounds in that race compared to the AI, but we made it work and job done. We get the extra point for the fastest lap, so 1-2 finish. Me and Leclerc do indeed swap around compared to the race start, and yeah, there is your final top 10 finishing order. Both McLarens, both Mercedes, both Ferraris, both Red Bulls, and then a Haas and an Aston Martin. Standings though, after 8 rounds, Leclerc lead by 7 points over me. We are second and 15 points ahead of Verstappen, and then there's a bit of a gap there to Perez, a little bit bigger now, starting to grow with Norris, Hamilton, Russell, all kind of, in a bit of a tight space there, a bit further back. In the Constructors, we lead by 64 points. The gap is growing pretty large now, and we go to round 9 next, which I believe is Canada. So good progress, good improvements, everything looks great, and we keep going and we keep pushing. Guys, like and subscribe. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on today's episode. Let me know what you think of the helmet down below in the comments section. Also, guys, as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting all the content that I make. As always, guys, check the links down below for the channel sponsors, also the videos on screen. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Until then, adios.